know me, then I'm Vedu and welcome to my YouTube channel. So, as you can already tell, I'm not in my house. I'm in a hotel room. Today we're going to talk about why I'm in a hotel room, what's going on, why my past few days have been so chaotic. This is going to be a rant. So, grab your snacks and let's chat. Okay, so for those of you who are new here and you don't know me and you need some context to my life and this whole story, I just moved to Bombay a couple months ago to move in with my boyfriend at his house. And it's quite an old house, so my boyfriend had been meaning to renovate it and like change up a few things. And he had been discussing it with me for a while now. We had planned the whole situation. And so I decided that I wouldn't be able to like live in the house while the renovations were happening. Although we had decided that we'll maybe do the room first and then we'll do the hall. You know, when the hall is happening, then we can sleep in the room. And when the room was happening, we can sleep in the hall. But I knew for a fact that I didn't want to stay in the house while these things were happening. And my boyfriend was like, yeah, 100%. You don't have to stay in the house. So like you go back home. And so I'd booked my tickets back to Bangalore for Monday, which is like day after tomorrow now. So while the planning was happening, Gautam came back to Bombay. He usually stays in Pune because he thought that like, let's talk to some of the electricians and the contractor and like figure out what needs to be done. Like let them start doing some small things. So like the people started coming in, whatever, they started talking, they started making plans. But like I was really not participating in the conversation. And I'm generally like not very involved when these things are happening. So I didn't really know what was being discussed. And one thing led to another. And I guess somehow the electrician and Gautam came to an agreement that it was a good idea to start ASAP and to start like with the room electricals the next day. The thing is, I guess there was some miscommunication and like Gautam didn't realize how hectic the reno was going to be. And he kind of thought it was just like a small thing that was going to take like a day or two and we can still be there while it's happening and it's absolutely fine. So that's the idea I had as well. We started like moving some stuff out of the room. And then at some point we started to like move everything. Like we were moving the bed out of the room, we were moving the cupboard out of the room. And like now the whole room was in the hall. And then they had started drilling for the new electricals. We didn't anticipate how much dust all of that drilling was going to cause. And although we closed the door of the room, they put like a full plastic sheet covering the door. The dust was so fine that it came through the door and into the hall and it had just covered all of the surfaces. Like the entire house is like a construction site. It's like covered in dust. And obviously the construction guys needed to use the toilet. They were obviously covered in dust because they were like working a lot. So they would walk into the toilet and like the whole toilet was just like mucky. And the thing for me is that I shoot my videos at home, right? So I had a to-do list and I wanted to do like a cooking video and I needed to do a makeup video. I also needed to shoot for a clothing brand. I had a whole bunch of like plans that I had to do before I left for Bangalore on Monday. And generally my workout routine is at home as well. I do a lot of like home workouts. Obviously that was not possible in the dust. So anyway, we've realized that the situation is bad and like we can't function in this space. So we decide to book ourselves into a hotel room. But we're thinking we don't want to go off very far away because we also have to like watch and see what work is happening in the house. And we don't want to be like traveling back and forth really far for that. We found the closest hotel to our apartment and we decided to check in there. So I packed my bags fully, like I packed to go to Bangalore. So the construction site situation has blown up on Thursday, right? So Friday, we're just like, oh my God, this is insanity. We need to move out of here. So Friday night, we booked the hotel room and Monday is my flight. So then we're like Saturday, Sunday, we'll stay in the hotel room and then Monday I'll leave for my flight. So we booked the hotel room. I think during the day when we went and looked at it, it looked absolutely fine and we just needed a room to stay in that was not fucking dusty. We realized that when we came to look at it during the day, it looked much better because the sun was coming in through the window, but like in the evening it becomes the blackout reflective mirror and the room felt very, very, very small. And I'm very claustrophobic. Really small tight spaces make me feel stressed out. So it was already feeling very closed in and small. And like even when we came to see it, like the windows were really big, the sun was coming in, the AC was really cooling the room out and it had aired the bathroom out and everything. It seemed fine at that point, but like once we moved our stuff in, it was all already nighttime by then. It had gotten dark, and generally we're room temperature people. We don't like the AC blasting so much because we get very cold very easily. We tried increasing the temperature on the AC, but when we did that, then the floor got completely wet. But it also kind of looked like the ceiling was muggy, and then there was kind of stains everywhere. I noticed like a stain on the pillow, and then there was like a stain on the floor. And since we closed the bathroom door, we had closed it for a while, but then when we opened it, there was a smell. There was a really weird smell. Do you know, like when something is just really old and not cleaned for a very, very long time? That was the smell in the bathrooms. But it was too late at that point, so we just stayed the night there. And in the morning, we kind of like packed all of our bags and like put them back in the car, and we were gonna find ourselves another space to stay in. And then in the morning, after like a whole bunch of running around, we finally got a room at a club here. So I think I'm gonna be fine. I think the thing is that we were really thrown into the situation without any warning. We didn't expect it to turn out that way, and we were having to plan on the go, which felt like a lot, and it felt very chaotic. I think why it also bothered me so much is because I had just gotten into a routine that I felt was working very well for me, and suddenly this had caused my whole routine to like go out the window, right? I'm actually very proud of the way that I've dealt with this situation and how I've gotten through it, because this time I feel like I didn't even call my parents for help the whole time, which I totally could have, but they were on vacation, so I didn't want to stress them out either. So I feel quite proud of myself for being able to think rationally and just think of the next step. And one of the things that really helped me is that I've been listening to Eckhart Tolle of late. To be honest, initially I found him extremely boring. I would like really fall asleep every time I tried to listen to him because he talks so slowly. I gravitated to one of his videos and I ended up listening to it, and he talks about being in the present moment and, you know, focusing on the here and now and not constantly worrying about the future or what's going to happen. And I think another really helpful thing that I absorbed from one of his conversations was the difference between having problems and having challenges. And I think that was something that kept coming up to my mind when I was in the difficult situation. I was like, no, I don't have problems. I just have a challenge right now that I have to deal with. And after that, I'm going to go back to doing whatever I have to do. And just like super helpful and so great to be able to think that way. And I don't have to spiral into endless worry about why am I in this situation? How am I ever going to get out of it? It's like, why is this happening? And like Gautam and I were really able to sit down and have a conversation about how we won't end up in this situation again, because we have longer conversations about things that we want to do and change and how we want to do it. And we can be really mindful of how each of us are going to be affected by it and take all of those factors into account before really making a decision. And that I felt was a very important thing for our relationship long term as well. It's not the end of the world. Things are going to happen and challenges are going to come up, but I think we can all just like learn from each other, just help each other keep a better attitude through difficult times. And even though it's kind of like a shit show right now, it's not going to be a shit show forever, and we're going to get through this. And this is all to just say that my super chaotic week just ended up being something that I feel really grateful for. And if you're going through something similar or even much worse, then I want to tell you that I feel you, and please give yourself space to be angry and be upset and be mad about all of it. You don't have to immediately be grateful. So comment below and share what struggles you've been facing of late, so we can like cheer each other on and show each other some love and support, share some kind words. And if on the other hand you're having a really lucky and amazing week, then send all of us some of your good energy and love. But yeah, here's hoping that next week is less chaotic and I can make a more fun video than this one. I'm planning to make a video trying like different snacks, so let me know what snacks you'd like me to try. Go ahead and let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you next week in my next video.